Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back for another episode here on Let It Grow Investing. We're going to dive right into all the news of the week, and we're going to kind of cover all the stocks that we've been watching and what's coming up this week that we need to pay attention to. So first up, Powell came out and announced that we got that 25 basis point cut. Stocks are still at an all-time high. It feels like more of the same, right? It's just like, can we buy these things as they keep just rolling higher and higher and higher? And it's starting to almost feel like a bubble in some areas, right? I'll explain. But yeah, we've got a lot of stocks trading higher. Let's go ahead and pull that up real quick. Let's see if we can't get the S&P 500 here and take a look at just what the S&P is doing since that bottom in beginning of April. We are up roughly, 35%, give or take. We are looking at a S&P sitting at 66.64. We came down to a low of around 48.35. Back in April, somewhere around the 4th or 5th, give or take, roughly, maybe the 7th. Big upswing from there, right? We had some of those known leaders, the Mag 7. We had NVIDIA and Amazon. Google's been doing really, really well. I was kind of pounding the table on Google for quite a while. Hopefully you guys got in on some of that. Tesla did okay for a while. They were finally starting to get some traction, but it was a rough road for them. Let's take a look at Google real quick while we're here. We got down to like 140, and right now we're sitting close to 255. So pretty awesome run there from Google. It's been doing really well for me, and hopefully you guys got in on some Google shares for yourselves. Tesla, right? Tesla is all over the place. Who knows what this one's going to do? And who knows, normally I would say if there's an insider that's buying $1 billion worth of their stock, that's a good sign, right? With Elon, it's like it's a question mark all the time. Why is he buying $1 billion worth of Tesla stock? And that question would generally mean that they're going to be doing better. Maybe it's the fact that Elon wants more control of the company. Maybe he's just got extra cash to throw back into the business, that he wants more shares, more control, more ownership, whatever it might be. I would normally say it's a telltale sign that things are all good. But I mean, with Elon, it's always an unknown as to what the play is here. So we're at 425. We were down in last October down to 212. I've been building this position back up. So I got about 10.6 into this brokerage account. I don't know, probably $4 or $5 grand in my IRA. And, we guys have added to it in the investing challenge portfolio as well. So I trimmed this completely. I guess it wouldn't be a trim. I closed out of this completely. When things were going sideways, I really didn't want to be in the volatility. I got back in. We're doing okay. I mean, it's something I think I'm just going to let some of this money ride. I don't really want to be in it as a trader. I did okay with it, but it's not something that I just want to keep trading in and out of, because it hurts your head trying to know what Elon's going to do next. Yes, the board's trying to get him to stay on longer. Yes, he's buying $1 billion. Yes, they are doing full self-drive with a safety driver in the car somewhere in Arizona. There's a lot of different things going on, right? So we've talked about the fact that there is a lot of reason to stay invested into Tesla. There's always going to be the haters that say it's not going anywhere, it's dead. It hasn't performed the way that it should. They promised the Roadster, they promised the semis, they promised this, that, the other. It's kind of a slow rollout, whatever, new models, whatever the case may be, right? They kind of overpromised, underdelivered in a lot of different situations. And I know some people got tired of hearing that. The PE at a 230, is that a great spot to buy? Based on a PE? No. But I mean, if we dig into like what some of the growth potential is, there's still some growth there. So I can see nibbling into this thing. I don't necessarily want to buy any more right now, but I think it's kind of a mistake not to have any. That's my 2 cents. You got to make your own call on that one. We talked Powell, 25 basis point cuts. Normally would think that anyone that's borrowing money, that's going to be a good thing. I've seen some articles saying, hey, are you going to refinance? I've seen more people taking out ARM mortgages or adjustable rate mortgages. Maybe if it continues to go down and then you can lock into a lower rate, maybe that's a good thing. But I, typically speaking, wouldn't want to lock into adjustable rate mortgage on the up chance that it does go up, and then you're paying tons in interest, and you could have just simply locked in a mortgage rate at whatever percent. So A lot of different things to digest there. Yeah, we've got Trump actually coming out with this H-1B. This is kind of crazy. We're going to go ahead and share this, right? This is on NBC News. So it was originally told, the story was that there's going to be $100,000 fee on some visas, H-1B work visas. And I'm not going to claim to know H-1B versus all the other type of visas. I believe this is more skilled workers, um, existing skilled existing holders of the H-1Bs are not going to be affected, but they were also like Microsoft and I forget who else, big tech companies and Goldman Sachs, I believe, they were emailing their H-1B visa holders telling them not to leave the country and essentially get back before 12:01 on Sunday, or they might have to pay this $100,000 visa application fee. And they were essentially trying to avoid that. So then the Trump White House came out and said, hey, look, this is not on existing people. This is on new people that are looking to come into the country to work, right? To fill high skilled jobs. So that was a little bit of clarity, right? So now it's like, what are we doing here? Is this just a tax that we don't want, foreign workers coming into the country, taking jobs while we're steadily not building up jobs in America? Are we going to try to keep those jobs open for Americans? And I mean, I think that's probably more or less what Trump is trying to do. And hey, if you do want that worker, they can still apply, but it's going to cost you $100,000 to get them here under the Trump H-1B visa plan. So, yeah, I think it's a double-edged sword. One, we're going to raise funds. Two, if you want that worker here, you're going to have to pay for them. If they're already here, they're grandfathered in. But at the end of the day, we're trying to keep American labor, growing. We'll want to see more people taking those jobs and not simply pushing our workers to the side and finding someone else abroad that can come in and do it maybe slightly cheaper or, a little bit better, which granted, if they're going to be a little bit better, it'd probably be worth the $100,000 fee that the business or the applicant would essentially have to pay. I know that it's a lot of people are going to be on the fence on that. I don't really have a complete picture as to what's going on there, but from the gist of what I'm getting, that is it. It's a tax on getting foreign workers to come here and do the jobs that we're hoping that we can have Americans do, or train Americans to do these jobs and keep unemployment low. So double-edged sword, raising fees, raising taxes, raising, capital for the government, and then essentially trying to keep that unemployment rate down amongst Americans. So I get it, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of pushback, and there's going to be some stuff going on there behind the scenes for certain. So yeah, that's there. Talked about Elon buying $1 billion of Tesla stock. And man, like I said, do we really know what Elon's doing? Do we have the angle as to why he is spending $1 billion to have 140 some $1 billion worth of Tesla stock? I don't. I don't have that answer. When he bought Twitter or X, was it worth the 40 some $1 billion that he paid then? No, it probably wasn't. But he wasn't buying it for the valuation. He was buying it to keep free speech and not have everything censored on Twitter. So there's reasons that he does things that we might not understand. And $1 billion, while is just ludicrous money to most of us, for him, that's that's less than 1% of what he's got in Tesla stock. So it's not even probably that big on the scale to him, but it is over the moon amount of money to most of us. So what I'm saying is we don't necessarily know if that means Tesla stock is going through the roof or he's got another ulterior motive for why he's doing what he's doing. So yeah, I was looking at Yahoo Finance here, and we were looking at a couple different things as to, well, one, these hot stocks, right? I did want to take a look here. This is something that I probably could have told you guys because I wrote a covered call on this one, and I'm getting beat to death on it. I mean, I'll sell it at a lesser price than where it is right now. So that's essentially what's going on. So Micron did come down a little bit. If I do go over here to E-Trade and I pull up Micron, you guys will see that it has had a fantastic 1 month run here, right? If I look at the 1 year, yeah, that looks good. But even on a 1 month, I mean, we were down at 116 and we are sitting at 162. So I wrote a covered call at 140 thinking, well, this was about a month ago. I was probably writing it around 116, 120. for a 120 call. So I was hoping for not to go above 10, 12% of upside in like 6 weeks, and it blew right through that. And now if I sell it, I'll be selling my shares at a price of $140. So if you knew that I had this covered call and you thought it was a bad idea, then hopefully you bought at 120. You were buying shares and not selling calls or covered calls. Again, this thing is doing really, really well. This is not something that I've been in that long. I think I have like 204 shares now. I'm up significantly in a short amount of time. I did not expect to be up that much. So my thought was, keep generating some cash coming in and hopefully keep my shares, because I didn't think it was going to go crazy. But that's where I wanted to talk about maybe we're in a potential bubble. And if I go back to this Yahoo Finance article, is this the right one? Yeah, this is it. We've got, Seagate up crazy, up 156%, best performing stock in the S&P. Rival Western Digital up 137, and Micron, biggest maker in memory chips in the U.S., fifth, following a record 12-session winning streak, push its 2025 rise to 93%. I did not see a old guard memory chip maker going up this significantly this quickly. I thought it was undervalued from the standpoint that they were not in demand, and now it just seems like anything that's in the secondary or tertiary markets that is linked to AI is just going crazy. And that's where I feel like we are getting into be a bubble here, right? So yes, I mean, me selling this at 140, I'm still doing well. Obviously, I would have loved to sell at 170 or 180, but I'm still not doing poorly, right? I still feel like I'm probably being somewhat responsible to take some cash off the table. I would have loved to sell at like I said, 170 or wherever it goes and sell it right at the peak. But obviously, I don't have a crystal ball and I don't have perfect timing. So you take that risk, right? A covered call is basically an exit price, right? We know what the exit's going to be. We know on the date that we're going to sell it, and it would sell at that given price point if it reaches that price or above. So that's where I'm at, right? That's just kind of the situation that I'm in. But the fact that these stocks, these memory chip stocks, have gone up 93 and 150 some percent, 156 and 137, that is insane. They should not be going that crazy in this short amount of time. I mean, it just is not normal. So the fact that we've kind of seen this in some of the .com era, with anything with the .com, was just on this meta, this fantastic rise. I think we can kind of connect some of those things and say, hey, is this stock really worth this, or is this getting out in front of itself? I think right now we're getting out in front of ourselves. I still think they're great companies, but I think the stock price is just outperforming based on the fact of what AI is doing and the demand that is there. So, am I upset about selling it? No. Would I have loved to sell it for more? Certainly. Obviously, that's pretty much the name of the game, is buy low, sell high. I bought low and I'm selling kind of middle ground. I don't know. We don't really know where this thing's going. So if my crystal ball gets back from the shop, I will let you guys know that, hey, it's going to 200 or it's going to drop to 130 tomorrow. I'll certainly let you know. But I don't have that. So selling at 140, keeping half my shares, letting those ride, all well and good. I'm going to do what I got to do to, play the market as best as I can, right? And it's been doing well for me. I did reach a goal that I was really looking to meet in about another 15 months on my 40th birthday. I met it early. I set a goal when I was 32 to be at a certain amount by 35, and I beat that goal. And now that I'm, in my late 30s, I had a goal at that same time to be at another number, and I've beat that. So yes, the market has been helping me, right? We're at this all-time high. There's a lot of different things that's going well. Some of it's timing. Some of it's just being in the right spot. Some of it's just kind of taking that leap. So if you're new here, I'll try to do my best to point you into some ways that could make you some money and hopefully protect your capital when you get to where you want to be. So hopefully this market's treating you well as it is me. So what else do we want to potentially look at right now? We're looking into other things that are also here in nuclear, right? We're looking nuclear. Could this be where all the data centers get their energy? It's certainly an area that is seen, just a monumental rise here, right? I mean, you can see Oklo. I'm not sure what LEU is. SMR was New Scale. They're all up significantly on the fact that all these data centers are really looking to, drive growth through nuclear power. So we're looking at a potential 10 trillion market opportunity and can hold the answer to the world's power shortages. So they're scalable. They're a lot safer. There's a lot more demand in them. There's a lot of different things. Has a lot more momentum, right? That's exactly what I'm seeing. So is it too late after a 30% run in some of these stocks? I potentially, but if we look at this long-term view, right, we're looking at out by 2030 or 2050, we can see this massive rise in what the spending and the amount of energy that we're going to need. So I think we're still in the very, very early innings of what could potentially be the next big energy movement. So Oklo, SMR, I know a little bit about both of them. I really haven't paid attention. I've told you guys other utilities that make sense to me. I think we bought Next Era Energy this past week. Do these make sense? Certainly. I think that they have some validity. I think there's a lot of room for them to grow. Looking at it simply by today's numbers, I'm going to shoot to say that they're probably overvalued. But if you take a look at where they're potentially going, the amount of spend, the amount of data centers, the amount of energy we're going to need, I'm going to shoot to say that they have a long path forward. So the fact that I pulled this up and it has a 12% downside, and it's already run so much, and we're up 22% on Friday. I mean, would I want to let it settle? Sure, I would. But if you're really thinking that this thing is just going to keep on running, Trump is going to push nuclear and we're not going to come back and we're not going to see 41 again, and you think that this price is going to be a perfect entry point when we look back in a year and it's at 80 then yeah, I think you probably should add into some different nuclear energy plays. So there's a lot of different ways to play the market. Is this something that could potentially be huge in the next 10, 20, 30 years? Yeah, I think it could. It's been dangerous in the past. I think we've obviously gotten a little bit smarter and we know better ways to harness the energy and safer ways to, keep it where it needs to be, keep it contained. Still fairly scary, but I think it's handled a lot better now than maybe what it used to be, and the stigma around it being such a negative energy source that was out there. So a little bit more front and center of the market, a lot more people looking to get into this. It's scalable, it's modular. There's a lot of different things that can be looked at here. So if we look at Oklo, let's take a look there real quick as well. Just see what we got in that area. Yep. So way overvalued based on what analysts say it should have been a year from now. So the fact that we're already up 28% on Friday, and now we're looking at 46% of downside. I think you got to be careful with it. I think it's going to be very volatile. So I'm not betting the farm on it. If you want to put 10 grand into this, I'd say, hey, buy $1,000 a month for the next 10 months, or however, maybe $3,000 a quarter or whatever. Dollar cost averages into this thing, and simply just don't buy at the peak. This might be the peak. We might see this thing come back down to 90, or it might run to 250. I'm not 100% certain. Again, crystal ball's in the shop. I'd love to help you out. I think it's probably a good area to play, but I don't want to tell you guys to rush out and buy anything that is already running 30% in a day. And probably if I look at this chart, I mean, I'm sure the amount of gains in the past year is probably just insane. Yeah, pretty awesome. We were down near $10, last October, and now we're sitting at 135. So it's already done pretty substantially well. Is it going to keep going? I don't know. That's 790 last October 1st and 136 today. So I wish we could have bought that one too, but you can't own them all. You can only do what you can do. So, and now obviously it hits my radar as it's just cataclysmic, just take off. It's pretty wild. Going forward, what do we want to look at, right? Well, I said I don't really want to chase a stock. I don't necessarily want to just rush into Tesla because Elon's buying it and the rest of the world's buying it. I'm kind of already there. We have some downside. I think it's going to be volatile. NVIDIA was investing into Intel. I don't know all the ins and outs of that deal. We can take a look at Intel real quick. I still think NVIDIA is a solid buy. Let's take a look at Intel. Had a 30% day. One of the analysts that I do follow still initiated this thing as a hold. I got to agree. We really don't know where this thing is going to go. You can see it here. Let's look at the 5-day. Just see this gap up from 24 up to 32. Massive moves. So we're seeing a lot of action in Intel because NVIDIA came out and they're trying to, basically revitalize the company. Can they do it? Sure. Is it a long road? Yes, it is. Did it hurt AMD? It did. It did hurt AMD at the same time that Intel went up. AMD went down, right? So NVIDIA went up that day because they were, normally speaking, when we're spending billions of dollars, that company goes down. But a lot of people saw it as a positive that AMD is basically on the offense, trying to, invest in another company to more or less keep AMD off their back. It almost seems like they're trying to get an Intel stronger to keep AMD in third place. That is almost the feeling that I got when I heard this news. Then you see AMD drop. I don't know that Intel's got that kind of power. I'm not too certain about that. You can see it here from 160 down to 150, maybe 150. Yeah, might have touched the 140s. But yeah, we're seeing this thing. Again, that one's doing pretty well for me as well. I forget that it's on here that I'm showing all my stock positions, but that's okay. Yeah, so I still think long term, AMD is in the early innings as well. I think on this weakness, it does make sense to buy some of it. I did buy a couple shares. I will show you guys what I bought and sold this week. We still have upside. I still think that, as the 350 and 400 chips come out, as we get a little bit more clarity as to what's going on in China, I think that AMD does have a path to success here. And for those reasons, I want to still be buying this thing. I don't want to be a net seller. I want to be buying on this weakness. If it gets back up to 180, 190, maybe I start trimming. But at this current point, I'm more on the side of buying this thing and trying to accumulate more shares. Amazon still makes sense. Their glasses, I believe that was a flop of a story that came out. What they were trying to unveil the new Meta glasses. So that thing, I don't know what happens there. That might have a little bit of a shaky ground with that. I don't know how much we're really counting on that, though. Everyone's still in Meta for advertising, right? So we got Amazon 14%, Eli Lilly about 20%. Still love that. Next era, and this is probably why we got this one last time, is because it's still got a good amount of upside, 21.25%. CrowdStrike, still like CrowdStrike. It's getting to the point where it's just not anything I'm really rushing out to buy, right? I don't see much upside currently. I do still like CRM. I did add more Salesforce this week, and that's around 35% of upside. That is probably the one that I'm currently slamming the table on, saying buy this stock for me. You got to do what you want to do. So yeah, CRM for me. I added some more Adobe. I know I'm on the fence with that thing. I want it to work. I really do. I'm not 100% certain as to where this thing goes. But you got to feel like the AI and the cloud and everything that Oracle's doing, you got to think that Adobe starts leaning into that as well. And I feel like this could be possible, right? I really do think that this thing could have this run. They really have not. Software has just been pummeled. And that is why I'm buying into Salesforce. I'm buying into Adobe. Those are the stocks of this week that I'm buying. I see other people rushing back into Nike. I see people buying into PayPal. I do. Open Door, I know that it's a meme stock. I canceled my order. I didn't even touch it. I thought about it and I reevaluated and I said, you know what? I don't have the time right now to focus on every little movement and nuance of what Open Door is doing. So I canceled that one. I did buy some other small caps, right? I did buy Medicus. We bought this one. This is doing pretty well for me. Up 14% on Friday. Crazy amount of upside here. They just got to get through some FDA stuff, and that thing could be off to the races. And then I bought, what was the other one? And I did not buy a lot of it, so don't quote me. And this was basically on the fact of it. Another bio pharma AQST. This was kind of on a Kramer recommendation. I know. But this one, is potentially trying to flip the market on the EpiPen. So Aquestive Therapeutics, they have a patch that can stop, or can actually be used for a lot of different medications, that dissolves in your mouth. It's quicker, it's faster, it's easier to carry than what an EpiPen would be. So I'm thinking if this gets approved, they have a huge path of movement higher. So I'm looking at this one for what it could potentially be. 50%, 56% of upside here. If it happens, great. If not, I'm only in it for like 100 shares. So I'm not throwing, this is just speculative money, both of these names. I'm not going crazy in these by any stretch. If it works, great. I think it could 10x. If it doesn't, well, right? It's just kind of side money, spare side pot money for me at this point. So that is what I'm looking to do there. What other orders we had? Let's take a look. I'll just pull up everything we did and take a look here. So yeah, I had these covered calls on SoFi. Those were executed and assigned. So I sold 300 shares. I got this thing probably in the $7 or $8 range. And yes, now it's 29. And another one that did not go the way I wanted, but it happens. And I trimmed my position, and it is what it is. Bought some more Micron because I don't want to lose all my shares. I bought Adobe, CRM, UPS, Broadcom, Salesforce. The list goes on. This is all this week. And these are all buys except for SoFi and CrowdStrike. I did get out of CrowdStrike. I do like the stock, but I wanted to focus somewhere else because I think that the upside is limited at this point. So it's pretty flat on that. Kind of got in, got out, and I'm trying to diversify or build up some of these other positions away from CrowdStrike. And one of the ones that I'm really focusing on right now is CRM. Adobe a bit, DraftKings, I'm still trying to build that position up as well. So that's what I got going on this week. Man, I think I'm going to give AMD the nod. I think the fact that NVIDIA is kind of firing. I think AMD and Lisa Su is probably a solid team to bet on under some duress. So I don't think that anything's going to change for them. I think that NVIDIA is trying to make some plays, but I think that AMD is going to really, start into the first, second, third inning, coming out swinging, and I think that they're going to do really well. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm going to buy some AMD. And we're going to kind of keep navigating our way through this market. We are going to be watching earnings from Costco. We're going to be watching earnings from Micron. So those two are going to have some telltale signs as to what we are looking for, what we are doing here. I didn't even look at that number just now, but earnings is on Tuesday for Micron. I'm guessing this is probably showing downside. 1.31 upside, barely. So pretty close to flat at this point. Not many people thinking it's going higher. Costco, about 14% of upside. I still like Costco. Rates coming down. Hopefully unemployment stays low. And this one will be reporting on Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. So yeah, we'll be watching Costco. We'll be watching Micron. We will be buying AMD, and we're going to keep on keeping on over here. So that's what I got for you guys. Thank you very much for stopping by. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.